off.
Oh, this hose is that supposed to be connected?
No, that's the overflow.
Hey guys, welcome back to Olson's Garage. We're finally going to be rebuilding the KX250 motor, which is actually, what I found out, is a KX265 because this is a 68.5 millimeter bore and it has a 72 millimeter stroke, thus making it a 265. All this vapor blasting was done by 734 Blasting. The guy's name is Zach. He's super cool. He rides KTM and he likes riding, so I took my dirt bike stuff to him because he's a dirt bike guy. He's super cool and he did a fantastic job. He's very particular about everything down to these little covers, even this tiny little Kips cover, all the stuff in here, and he does a great job. Everything was taped off and done very, very well. So if you guys are in Southeast Wisconsin and you need a guy to vapor blast your stuff, check out Zach at 734 Blasting. He does powder coat and a bunch of other stuff. He's got a Facebook page, message him there. But yeah, let's get into it. So obviously we're gonna have to assemble the bottom end, so that's what I'm gonna be mostly working on today. This is probably gonna be mostly a time-lapse video, just due to the fact that I'm gonna have to tap out all these little screw holes and just kind of clean up the surfaces from when they were vapor blasted. Everything came out very clean, but some of the blasting media can get stuck in the holes, and I just wanna make sure everything is good to go. We're also gonna get a piece of sandpaper and we're gonna kind of go make sure this is all nice and flat on both these sides, these case halves. Make sure that we're good to go there. When you're taking these apart, make sure you also have the right tools to do it. Make sure you have the separator and then the crank installer for these two. Don't even start until you have those tools. Just order them. They're on Amazon. You can get them for like, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. In a couple days. Highly, highly, highly recommend. They're gonna make your life so much easier. But yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna get the tap set out and we're just gonna go to town on all these holes. So let's get into it. So we used one of these rethreading tools. I would actually recommend using one of these over a tap like this. These rethreading tools just catch a lot of the stuff and they're really easy to wipe out. Hopefully you guys can see that there. I use that to basically go through all these holes, get any extra crap out of them from the vapor blasting, contact cleanered everything, made sure there was nothing left, blew them all out. These are clean now. I did that with the bottom end and the cylinder and all the other parts that I got vapor blasted. It's just a good thing to do. Make sure everything's nice and clean before you go to assemble it. Obviously, you gotta fire that thing up and all that vapor blasting material. I know it's not terrible for it. It's not gonna be good for it. You don't want any of those like abrasives in there, especially when you're first startup and you trash a top end already. Not good. So everything is cleaned up on these and we are going to start reassembling. So I'm going to start with, I'm calling this the stator side because the stator's on this side. And then this is the Kickstarter side or the clutch side. I'm going to start with this side. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to put seals, bearings, same thing with this side, seals, bearings, and we're going to take care of all like the transmission side stuff. All of our bearings are in the freezer right now. I'm going to throw a little bit of heat on these. What I'm actually going to do is use my torpedo heater and just kind of get these a little bit warmer, and then those bearings should pretty much just slide right in here. So let's get into it. I'm gonna put this on a time lapse with this camera. Insta360 X3 is an older model, but this is what I started shooting the videos on. Now I got this Ace Pro, which makes everything look a lot prettier. So let's get into it. Also, I just wanted to make a really quick point to building this motor. I tried to put this cover on, this side cover here, and I cannot get it to go in. And I've had this problem a couple times, and that's actually the reason why last year when I did the KX125, that's why this case was broken. The shift shaft comes out, and there's a couple things that need to line up just right. I would highly recommend throwing it on some blocks, just like I have here, and working on it on a nice flat surface. Make sure you're not putting any pressure on that shift shaft, because if that thing comes up, there's a little collar behind the whole shift shaft assembly and everything. That's got to be lined up perfectly. It's got to be set all the way in, and it has to be flush with the case. You can see here on this case, it's nice and flush. Right here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is pretty much flush, or flush from the human eye. And I want to say this one sunk in just a little bit. But still, just something to be aware of. It's really important that you do that, because my case wasn't going on right, and I thought it had to do with this dowel. It really had to do with this shift shaft. So, just stuff to be aware of. Also, something else to be aware of. I bought the wrong gasket. I think I can make it work just because where the hole is, it's actually going to seal right. I'll let you guys know in a future video though. Sorry, I'm getting sick a little bit. I'm starting to sound a little weird. But I cut a little hole right here, and then I'm going to throw some RTV right here by this hole. Put that on the case. Hopefully it won't leak. If it does leak, I'll just buy the right gasket when I make another Rocky Mountain order. But I've made like 5 of them already, and I'm kind of sick of ordering parts, and I'm trying to get this thing back together. So I'm not going to wait a couple weeks and do nothing with this. So I'm going to use this gasket, but yeah, just be aware. Make this nice and flush. Make sure to take all your power valve stuff off when you're doing it. Everything just goes together a whole lot easier. Make sure you got grease where grease needs to be and everything else, but you guys know all that. Alright, hey guys, so just a quick break in the time lapse again. So what I'm doing here is I bought these little brass bushings off of Amazon, I think. They're pretty cheap. They're not the right size, so you're going to have to do a little bit of drilling. I bought a 17 mil drill bit, and I ended up putting these in the vise, and I cut them down, and I flattened them out, and I made sure what side was going to fit where and how everything was going to bolt together before I sent the frame out for powder coat. So now I'm going to use some of this, I thought I had bearing retainer. Oh, here it is. I'm going to use some of this bearing retainer. It's green, it expands more. So I'm going to put some bearing retainer around here and around here, and I'm going to press these new bearings in because it's a pretty common problem with these. So what will happen is that when you put your shaft in, or your axle pivot in here, now granted, I drilled these out already, so they're a little bit bigger, but honestly, they weren't that far off. These were pretty loose. I broke one of these axle pivots when we were at Crawford this spring. Honestly, this bike has been nothing but breaking down this year. I broke the axle. We took it to Derek Hughes. Once I crashed, and that was my fault. That wasn't the bike's fault. And then the next time we went to Derek Hughes, I had the throttle stick, so I redid the throttle cables and everything. Then we took it to Silver Lake Sand Dunes, and it started pushing coolant a lot.
Shut it off.
Oh, this hose is that supposed to be connected?
No, that's the overflow.
Come to rebuild motor, it's pushing transmission oil into the crankcase, and it's blew a head gasket and was pushing coolant into the stator cover. So this thing had just insane amounts of problems all year long. So we're finally just redoing everything on it. This is a great bike. I love this thing. It's actually a 265. I think this cylinder was probably at Millennium Technologies up there in Plymouth, Wisconsin, which is cool. That's really close to me. And they do all these KX and all these other dirt bike big bore kits, which is super cool. So I guess check them out. They do a bunch of work even to these transmissions and everything. Greg Hitchko is another guy that rebuilds all these old two-strokes. He's got a really cool video on the KX250. His video is going to be a lot more detailed than mine. So yeah, I just wanted to show you these little things that I came up with to put in here. So I'm going to put this one in, and then this is going to go, oh wait, I'm sorry. It's going to go like this. It's going to come in this way. But yeah, so that's pretty much how that's going to work. All right, guys. This was kind of a disaster last night. We did some things that ended up working. I'll get into more detail later, but we're going to try and start this thing. We are in neutral, and we still have the big ass paddle tire on from when this blew up in the dunes. So let's try it out. Well, there's something. Oh God. We got our motocross boot on. That should hopefully be dry. Let's try this again. That is in there. Still nervous, but it's okay. Choke is off now. Try to just turn the fuel off. See if this thing will pop over or not. Come on, girl. Are we still too advanced, I wonder? We're gonna do some research. Yep. Kinda saw that coming, didn't we? Alright. I just can't win with this thing this weekend, can I? Son of a bitch. Apparently this is common too. This is pretty common on these. I guess we're ripping the XR because the chances of me getting a shaft in 2 weeks is pretty much zero. Fuck, that sucks. Alright, well I guess that's it for now.